Hi, my name is Christy, and welcome back to the 12 Months, 12 Books series. As you know, the last video was special because I had 2 books for the month of September. Right now, it's the 11th of September, and I just finished the first book yesterday. It's so good, honestly. The thing is, I figured out this is a trilogy, so I read the first book, now I'm gonna read the second book, and I predict that the third part is going to be the book of October. I don't want to forget my current feelings and thoughts and everything, so I'm gonna review the first book right now and then finish this video another day when I finish the second book. A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness is a spellbinding, no pun intended, tale that blends history, fantasy, and romance. The story follows Diana Bishop, a scholar who accidentally stumbles upon a mysterious manuscript hidden in Oxford's Bodleian Library. Though she comes from a long line of witches, Diana has long denied her magical heritage, until the discovery draws her into a hidden world of witches, vampires, and demons. As she seeks to uncover the secrets of the manuscript, Diana is forced to confront her own powers and the ancient rivalries that surround her. Rich in detail and atmosphere, A Discovery of Witches is an enchanting beginning to a series about knowledge, destiny, and the supernatural. I can't tell you how good this book is. It had almost like 600 pages, but I read it I think in 9 days, which is really quick for me right now because I don't know, I'm working, like I'm babysitting kids, and then I'm trying to do like 1,000 things at once. But this just proves that I was trying to find every minute that I could of the day to read. I'm gonna pull out my notes that I have on this book. That's also kind of nice because I haven't written down notes on a book in a while. Well, my first note is obviously that I got into it really quickly, which I've been craving a lot because I don't know, it just feels really good to start reading, and after a couple of pages you're just drawn into the story. You want to know what's going on, what's gonna happen. And if you watched my previous videos in this series, you know that it's been a while since that happened. There are a lot of new words that I didn't know, and I thank God the Kobo device like has this dictionary thing where you just highlight the word and it explains what it is, because I need it. I have some examples for those words. Malevolently, lacerations, to be addled, I don't even know. Demons, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's not demons, it's like daemons. I don't know. Syncopation, premonition. So those are the kinds of words appearing in this book. And the thing is, I have been reading fast, but sometimes this slows me down or kind of disrupts me because there's a couple of words that I don't know, like in one sentence, and then I have to not translate it, but look it up so I know what I'm reading, because I do want to understand it, and a lot of the times it is crucial for the story. My next bullet point is he is in love after 3 meetings, 3 sightings of each other. Like, to be fair, it was really fast. I don't want to spoil anything, but the relationship is going really fast. But honestly, it doesn't bother me because it is fantasy, so you're already in a world that's not real, and I think because of that it doesn't really bother me, and I'm just going along with it. Also, you can really feel the chemistry between the characters. It's not like something is trying to be forced. It just flows nicely. And I think also the author gives you like a lot of details into what's happening, what are the characters' thoughts. So even though a little time passed, you feel like a lot of it passed because there's a lot going on and you get every detail of every scene. My next note is, oh my god, it's so good. And giggling. I'm gonna try to find a clip that I took while reading, but this book makes me giggle. Also hasn't happened in a long time. There's not a lot of magic yet. I feel like this first book is more about introducing the world, the creatures. Like I said, there's vampires, demons, and witches. And I think the author is trying to explain what each of them is about, how they function, because I mean, vampires we kind of know, for example, from the Twilight series, but the rules are a little bit different in this series. So I think the author wants to let us know and just slowly get us into it, which honestly I appreciate, but I think I expected more magic already, but maybe that's gonna come in the following 2 books. I don't know. In the beginning, or like in the first half of the book, I think there was a lot of technical explanations. I think it's a scientist who wrote this series. So it makes sense that she's putting all of these science concepts into it. But sometimes it was just boring because I don't understand it. I have no scientific background. So then whenever she explains something, and she is trying to explain it through the characters, I get a little bit bored. But again, it doesn't like disrupt me from the story. And I feel like it was more in the first half, like I said, and then in the second half, it's more chill in that way. And then my big point is that it doesn't feel toxic at all. Like, I keep expecting these situations to happen, you know, as it happened in other books, other series, whatever. Here it doesn't. And it makes me really happy because it is a little bit more, let's say, unpredictable in that way. You know, not these typical cliches that someone falls in love and then they pull back because they're scared or they're emotionally immature, emotionally closed off and things like that. So there is a very pleasant and positive change. And I don't want to jinx it. So let's hope it stays that way for the 2 following books. Now I'm going to read you some of the quotes because, like I said, it made me giggle. Okay, now that I'm looking at this, it looks a little bit possessive, but in the story, it really makes sense. It's not toxic, I promise. His father's scent was all over her. He'd done it deliberately to mark Diana so that every vampire would know to whom she belonged. After tonight, Matthew knew his need for her was greater than anything else. Neither his family nor his next taste of blood mattered as much as knowing that she was safe and within arm's reach. If that was what it meant to be bewitched, he was a lost man. So in love. And this one is kind of witty, funny. Leave him alone. Em's voice was uncharacteristically sharp. She handed me the salad and pointed me to the table in the family room where we usually ate. We saw a fair amount of that apple tree ourselves while Diana was growing up. Humph, Sarah said. She picked up 3 wine glasses and waved them in Matthew's direction. Got any more of that wine, Casanova? I'm French, Sarah, not Italian, and I'm a vampire. I always have wine, Matthew said with a wicked smile. I don't know how else to tell you how much I'm enjoying this book. I feel like you can feel it, and I can't wait to continue in that journey. I'm actually going to start the second book in a couple of minutes because I'm going to the center and I was read on the public transport. So I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Okay, I'm back for the second part, and it's a little bit disappointing. I don't understand what happened because the first book was so good. I was really into it. Like, yes, there were a couple of things that were not holding me back, but you know, like I explained in the previous part, things that I maybe didn't understand and then they were explained, but I felt like it took just a small part of the book and of the reading. Whereas in the second one, I was just bored. It wasn't that bad where I was forcing myself to continue reading, but I mean, it was a 600 pages long book, and I felt like the first half of the book could have been like 100 pages. Like, I don't understand. Maybe I was missing something because the only thing the 2 characters were doing, like, they traveled into the past to the 16th century, and the problem was that there was a lot of historical characters, which I didn't necessarily know or understand. I mean, obviously there were characters like William Shakespeare, which I knew, but other than that, there were some, I think, astronomists and alchemists and just like scientists in general, and then I think writers or composers, and there were a lot of them. Like, really, I understand what the author was trying to do with this. If you like history, if you're into science, you're gonna enjoy this, I think, because she was trying to like not rewrite history, but like play with the characters and the personas of the past, and they were a huge part of the story. They weren't just like side characters, which I think I would have preferred maybe, but again, like, if you are into science and you know these people, then you're probably gonna enjoy this. So that was my one issue, and really the other issue was that they were just like meeting so many random people. I felt like it was a loop where the same thing kept happening again and again and again. The key of the story is that they're doing something technically like forbidden, something they shouldn't do, and so that's why they're running into the past to kind of hide for a bit. But they keep meeting people who are initially against them, but then they get them on their side, and it's the same thing over and over again. And they were meeting so many people, and then they were just traveling from one place, one city, one country to another. There was one part of the book that was happening in Prague, which is my Not necessarily hometown, but you know, where I come from and where I live. But again, I didn't enjoy it. It was so weird, honestly, to see a couple of Czech names in there, just like randomly in this random ass book. And then there was mentioned, I think, only like maybe 3 places in Prague. So not really set in Prague, I feel like. When I saw that the next part of the book is happening in Prague, I was like, ooh, maybe that's gonna, you know, get me more interested in the story. But really, it wasn't about Prague that much. It was again about like meeting some people and having to be sneaky and things like that. I think overall, I probably just missed so many references. The one thing that I like knew what was going on was the invention of telescope and how the main character slightly changed history when she was in the past. But I just feel like it would have been way more fun if I had more knowledge about these people. Maybe it would have been helpful to research them, because at the end of the book, when I finished it, there was the list of the historical characters and I think what kind of creature they were in the book and what was their like profession, you know, like the astronomer, I don't know, alchemist and scientist, things like that. So maybe it would have been helpful to research it, but I didn't know the list was there at the end of the book. And also, I probably wouldn't have done it anyways. As I was reading it, I have to say, I was really disappointed because I had really high expectations because the first book was so good. And then I was kind of bored and I was sad. I have 2 more points to say to this whole debacle. No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. And the first one is that I wrote down, I was halfway through the book and I felt like so much was happening, but at the same time, nothing was happening. It was so strange. Like I said, they were traveling from place to place, meeting this and this and this and this person, but at the same time, I felt like it wasn't that important for the story. I don't really know. And the last thing, that was even weirder. As I said, a lot was happening, nothing was happening, but then the kind of big events or important ones, or at least I would consider them important, were just brushed aside as like nothing happened. I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't say the specific moment, but for me, it would be something really big, especially for a woman. I'm just gonna give you a little hint. And they just mentioned it and that was it. And then they never really went back to it again. And I was like, okay, because I was like, yay, something interesting is happening, even though not that positive, but at least something interesting. And then they just didn't elaborate. But to be fair, towards the end of the book, I think maybe the last 150 pages were kind of tense and exciting. Like really at the end of the book, it was escalating a little bit. But on the last 150 pages, out of 600. Like, that's not great. So, we're gonna uncover what the third book is. Well, I just spoiled it. Anyways, I probably know what the next book is because this is a trilogy and book number 1 and number 2 were for the month of September. Technically, I think the second book was like September/October, but I just put them both in September because I felt like it was easier, especially because I'm making these videos and I don't know how I would do it otherwise. I'm gonna try to do it very quick this time because it is already a 2-part video. Actually, quotes. I'm gonna see if I highlighted anything. I always forget this part. Oh, I have one. All that children need is love, a grown-up to take responsibility for them, and a soft place to land. That's cute. October. Now for the password, let's try Annie. But this is like the last chapter. I feel like it might be the last. Ooh, it worked. Because if you watched the last video, you know I had an issue with the password because it was the first book of the last part of the book, not the last chapter. But this time it was the last chapter. Surprise, surprise. The book for the month of October is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness, aka the third book of the All Souls series, I think it's called. Let's put it into my trusted little document. The Book of Life. And the password was Annie. Ooh, I didn't give rating to the previous books. The first one I would give a 4, I think, because I did really enjoy it, but I told you my reservations. And this one, I would say 3. Not as good. Saved, close. Let's see how many pages this book has. 545. Okay, a little bit less than the previous ones. Still a lot. I do hope the third book is good and it just encloses and finishes this whole story. I hope it's captivating and fun. I think they went back to the present. I'm expecting them to go to the future as well, because like the first book was in the present, the second in the past. So I'm like, what if the third one is in the future? But obviously I don't know. I'm gonna tell you in the next video. And it's crazy because we have only 2 more, November and December. I can't believe we're almost done with this whole series, although I am a little bit excited just because I feel like I don't have the time or the authority to choose the books that I want to read because I'm doing this series. I am also doing another series with like the spinning wheel, which I'm gonna have to stop because I'm gonna be leaving soon and the physical books are just gonna stay here. So I'm excited to go back to choosing what I read, but it's fun. So 2 more to go. I hope I'll see you there. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.